We're back now at 8:11, and many of us use a warm bubble bath or perhaps a glass of wine to relax from a stressful day of parenting. But increasingly, more and more women are turning to pills. Savannah has details. Hey, Savannah.
And that's right. A new study is showing women are turning to the medicine cabinet for help more than ever before. And anxiety pills and sleeping aids in particular are becoming mothers' new little helpers. At the crack of dawn, Carrie Hartman has to get her two young daughters, husband and dog up and out the door before starting her demanding job as a mid-level manager in the mortgage industry.
My life, I think, became a lot more stressful after my second child was born. I thought that I could return back to working full-time, manage two kids, the family life and the professional life, not a problem. And it turned out not to really be as easy as it was the first time around.
She slept only 2 to 3 hours a night, and the pressures of being a working mom took a toll.
She was sad. I mean, she didn't really see a smile on her face.
I just felt like I wasn't able to effectively handle all that was being asked of me. May I have one?
Carrie's doctor prescribed 10 milligrams of Lexapro a day, as well as Ativan if she's facing a major anxiety attack. Carrie also adds a Tylenol PM a few nights a week to help herself sleep.
I would say probably within 3 weeks I noticed a huge difference. Everything just seemed to be put into perspective. It really helped me address the same challenges and the same issues that I had been presented with before I went on the medicine, but I was able to see it and kind of compartmentalize it.
Carrie is not alone, according to a recently released analysis of prescription drug plans. Medco, a healthcare company that manages 65 million health insurance plans, found that more than a quarter of adult women take prescription drugs for anxiety and depression. Women 45 and older were the highest percentage of all users.
In that age group, when we're talking about the 40s and 50s, there's a lot of change in life going on, a lot of hormonal changes for women. And there's an overlap there between the hormonal changes, things like depression, anxiety, and other symptoms that cause them distress.
The number of women seeking medicine for sleep is also increasing. The New York Times found an increasing number of mothers are turning to prescription and over-the-counter sleep aids.
Mother's little helper of the new millennium is anything from Ambien to low-dose antidepressants or even low-dose antipsychotics. It might be melatonin. Tylenol PM is, people call it mom's secret weapon.
After surviving the day, Carrie was back at the house with her family, focusing on the things that matter.
I don't have any short-term plan to go off the medicine at this point. I don't want to be dependent on medicine for the rest of my life, but at the same time, if it's something that helps me and gives me a better quality of life and the side effects are minimal, then it is something that I will continue to consider.
And some experts attribute the increase in use of antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications to a decrease in the social stigma associated with using those drugs. And back to you.
All right, Savannah, thanks. Well, Dr. Julie Holland is a psychiatrist and also the author of Weekends at Bellevue. Dr. Holland, good morning.
Good morning.
Let's review these numbers again. According to the study, 1 in 4 women now taking a mental health drug, and also women are being prescribed these medications at a higher rate than men now. Why this increase?
Well, a couple of things have happened. In the mid-90s, the pharmaceutical industry was allowed to start advertising on television and magazines, and a lot of these ads really do target women. And then the other thing that happened was 9/11 happened. And everyone was very anxious and fearful, couldn't sort of, turn off the alarms. And people started giving themselves permission to take anti-anxiety medicines and sleeping pills. And that really sort of got the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm. We just heard about Savannah talk about the stigma. The stigma at the same time then did decrease. You agree with that?
At least in New York City, it feels like the stigma is very much gone. When I started my practice, I had to really, people came to me and they were anxious, they're depressed, and they didn't know why, they didn't know what to do about it. I had to explain medicine. It was okay to take it. Now they come to me and they just want to know which medicine they should take. take. They've talked to their friends. They've seen the ads. Things have really changed.
You mentioned the city. I mean, you actually think that the numbers are actually higher than 1 in 4 in cities versus in less urban areas?
Yeah, I think that in the cities, you know, there's more noise, there's more stress, people are working longer hours, they're eating later, there's less time for sleep, there's less physical activity, and it's really taking its toll.
You know, one woman in the piece just now just talked about, you know, side effects being minimal. Every drug has a side effect, true or
Every
false?
drug has side effects.
Okay, Sarah from Washington writes in an email, as a single mother doing everything on my own gets very stressful. Sometimes that stress is so overwhelming it overflows to my children. Taking a Xanax during those hard times really helps me cope. So since we don't want to encourage this because it isn't ultimately good for you, what are the other solutions if you are so stressful? And we've all been there as parents.
The biggest thing you can do immediately to help you when you're stressed out is to get in touch with your body and with your breathing and really focus on your breathing and take slow, deep breaths. You know, as soon as you get sort of tensed up, your breath becomes more shallow, and as soon as your brain senses that there's less oxygen in your blood, it kind of goes into panic mode. So the first thing to do is to really breathe and just slow everything down.
Deep breath as in let your stomach.
From your diaphragm.
Opposite thing of what, you know, we're told to do, but let your stomach go in and out really deeply, and that really works. Okay, Julie from New York wrote, ever since I had my babies, I do not sleep. I often use Tylenol PM, but have also used Ativan to relax myself to help get to sleep. I feel like I have 2,000 things running in my mind. So what else can women do to promote sleep that doesn't hurt them?
Right. Well, it's really important to clear the decks. I mean, things are running in your mind. One thing to do is just make a list. Another thing to do is really teach yourself to meditate. Teach yourself to sit calmly and do nothing and clear your mind for a little while. In terms of inducing sleep, very important to not have caffeine later in the day. Caffeine lasts a long time in your system. Morning cup of coffee, okay. Afternoon, not okay.
Are there other things you can take?
Well, there are herbs that you can take, and there's a proprietary blend of herbs that I like to recommend called Deep Sleep, but anything like valerian or chamomile can be helpful. The other thing is screens. You really want to turn off the television, close your laptop, no screens, no glowing screens. They're very stimulating. They keep you awake.
Even when you're asleep, they're by your head. That's going to keep you awake.
TV in the bedroom, bad idea. Laptop in the bed, a bad idea. The best thing you can do, you know, turn off the TV, turn off the computers, put on some music, play some music, read a book, read a magazine, unplug. Best thing you can do before bed.
Dr. Julie Hahn, thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure,
to help
always.
us cope. Really appreciate it.